Welcome to the series that only appear in the evening. Today the movie I bring is the latest film collection of horror 2020, the Mortuary Collection, made up of 4 small stories, seemingly unrelated to each other. The film begins. The boy delivered the newspaper to the front of a mansion in the mountain. It can be seen, here for a long time no one comes to pick up the newspaper. The boy is very curious. He entered the villa, but on the papers on the ground, writes a large prominent line. Recently in town there have been a lot of murders. The boy came in front of the mansion. Just see the door closed. As the boy looked inside through the observation hole in the door, a pair of horror eyes appeared. At this point the door handle started to move. Then, the door was open. The scene changes. In this mansion, conducting a memorial ceremony for a boy. It turns out this place is a morgue. It is also the funeral home. After the ceremony ended, Mr. Dark saw off relatives of the boy, preparing to cremate the body. At this time thunder began to appear outside. Dark knew something was going to happen. After locking the door, he saw a girl in front of the boy's body, preparing to open the lid of the coffin. Dark stopped immediately. The girl explained, "I am Sam, seeing outside the recruitment ad stickers, so I come to apply for a job. Do not know if they are still recruiting people." Dark said, "Every time." While preparing to sign the contract, Sam found that there were many books in the house. Jokingly, "Isn't this place a morgue? Why is the layout like a library?" Dark explained, "Every book here keeps stories about the death of each guest." And gradually, more and more books appear. Sam heard that and felt excited. She asked Dark to tell her a few thrilling stories of death, so Dark told the first story. Greater than in an evening party. The girl alone went to the toilet. After turning on the lights, she found on the switch mucus layer. But she doesn't mind too much. So she sat on the toilet lid, starting to check tonight's loot inventory. It turns out she's a professional thief. Relying on beautiful looks, she seduces men, then stole the property on them. Today's booty is 3 wallets and a pocket watch. After taking out all the cash in the wallet, she put the money and watch in the pocket, then threw the wallet in the trash. Just as the girl finished her work, prepared to step outside, the makeup mirror on the back made a strange sound. Then, she discovered behind the mirror there was a small door. This makes her extremely excited. According to her professional experience, these places have hidden treasures. After taking out the professional unlocking tool, the girl successfully unlocked the door. But the hand was injured. Right when the girl was dealing with the wound, the door just opened. Suddenly, something made it close. Then the girl stopped. She clutched the doorframe, used all her strength to pull it out, finally opened it, but found inside there are no treasures, but a tentacle-filled monster. The girl shouted and hurriedly closed the door, trying to hold the door tight. Finally, the monster was silent. The girl looked at the door of the room 9.9 meters away, gently walked towards the door, in fear of shock to the monster. But right then, the pocket watch fell to the ground, which made a sound. The girl watched the clock fall on the ground. Thought, "Oh no, I'm dead." The door opened slowly. Countless tentacles flew out. The girl just like that was grabbed tightly, pulled to the little door. A tentacle reached out and turned off the lights, waiting for the next prey. Sam heard this story. It felt a bit interesting though, not stimulating enough. The story is quite simple. Dark said, "Don't rush, this is just an appetizer. Sign the contract first, then I will tell you more." After Sam finished signing the contract, Dark took her to get used to the working environment. On the hallway, Sam saw an old photo on the wall. One of them is Dark. Sam asked Dark, "How old are you after all?" Dark said, "I forgot how old I am." Then, he went on to tell Sam the second story. In the college yard, handsome man named Jake, newly enrolled juniors are being brainwashed, propagate thought of body freedom, then give them family planning tools, and invite them to the dinner party. The purpose is well known, it is to date them. Then, he stared at a girl in red. With those words, the girl could not help it. She agreed to Jake's invitation. On the school note, had a lot of missing male student notices. At night, Jake wore a handsome dress. The girls also came to the party as scheduled. The two looked appetite. Such a situation, no need to say much. They entered the room. The girl asked Jake, "Recently many male students went missing, aren't you afraid?" "Maybe I am the culprit." Jake didn't care. By the way, laughing at those unlucky people, the girl smiled. "I'll skip 3 minutes." By the morning of the next day, Jake woke up. The girl had gone, and kept her phone number on the mirror. Jake smiled. He had been with many girls, but never missed anyone. He directly wiped the phone number, but right then, Jake felt nauseous, almost vomiting out of the food yesterday. Friends teased him, "Winning already?" Jake rushed to the hospital to check. After the doctor finished checking, he seemed unbelievable, then left. Jake picked up the report. S greater than on it indeed wrote he was pregnant. Jake was completely bewildered. He rushed home. Took a bottle of contraception. But it didn't work. Moreover, at this time, the abdomen looks like he's 8 months pregnant. He knew for sure it was related to the girl yesterday. He took the phone. Luckily, he hadn't deleted her phone number. After knowing the girl's address, Jake took the car key. Went to the girl's house. But was stopped downstairs. Turns out to be his friends. Preparing to congratulate Jake on gathering the 67th girlfriend. Jake is also extremely proud of this. They lifted Jake up and spun in circles. Jake felt his stomach get more and more uncomfortable. Right then, Jake broke his amniotic fluid. The scene was extremely embarrassing. Jake stole the car key. Run the fastest speed to the girl's house. Seeing Jake, the girl's mother sighed. Not at all surprised by this. She turned dining tables into surgical chairs. Preparing to make Jake bare. And the girl is standing there hearing the phone. Having a shady conversation with another. Didn't mind Jake's feelings. Jake was extremely emaciated then. He asked the girl's parents. "Have a cesarean?" The girl's father replied. "Ordinary birth is okay." Jake was not fully recovered yet. Then a pain spreads from the abdomen. The girl covered her ears. Then boom. The baby is born. Jake also died of a difficult birth. The girl's mother put the baby in the crib. When she left, the school bulletin board. A new brochure is also attached. Sam heard this story. She felt excited. There is romance, there is suspense, there is also horror. But Sam said that she normally watches movies online. So this little bit is not enough to please her. So, this is something specifically used to treat corpses. There was a beautiful girl lying on the bed. On the girl's body there's necrosis. On the hand is a ring. On it engraved "Even death will not change," can also be translated as "Love until death." Then, Dark tells the story of this girl. In the church, a couple is having a wedding. When the husband came to take the oath, the wife's face suddenly became frightening. A loud shout scared the husband to wake up. It turned out that not long after he and his wife married, the wife was seriously ill. So she had been bedridden. Couldn't go by herself. The husband loves his wife very much. Not leaving his wife half a step. Take care of his wife's daily life. Hope she can get well soon. But reality is always difficult. Not only does the wife's illness not get better, but it is getting worse. For treating his wife, the family is piling up in debt. Only a bunch of bills left. The husband can't bear anymore. The doctor saw this situation. Then decided to give him a hand. The doctor took out a medicine. Specially reminded the husband. This drug, if used in overdose, will be dangerous to your life. Furthermore, there will be no trace. After receiving the medicine, the husband was quiet. At night, the husband plays the song that his wife likes best. Prepare a rich dinner. And also bought his wife a statue. Her favorite Arctic rabbit figure. He gently caressed his wife's hand. Hoped to be answered by his wife. But he was disappointed. He put medicine in porridge. Feeding his wife. Then painfully wiped the tears. At that time, the wife's hand moved. Grab his hand tightly. The husband regretted. He removed the belt fixing his wife, and helped her vomit the freshly eaten porridge. He dared not face his wife. Turned to blame himself. And because there is no fixed cord, the wife rested her head on the table. The husband hurriedly helped his wife get up, but discovered his wife smacked her head and hit the rabbit statue. He let go of his hand. As a result, the wife was hit again. Fresh blood was all over the table. The husband hurriedly called to seek help from the doctor. The doctor asked him to think about how to handle his wife's body. The husband lost his temper, obeying the doctor. Put the wife's body in a chest. But the chest was too small. Not fit the body. The husband decided to use a mower to split the body. After a series of operations, finally the husband was able to put his wife's body in a chest. Just about to push the chest into the elevator. Then a neighbor is about to enter. The husband quickly pressed the close button, which clamped the neighbor's hand. And the elevator also stood. There was a problem. The man used his all strength. Finally pulled out the elevator door. But still can't get out. Until he turned around. A large amount of blood flowed out of the chest. The husband panicked. He stepped on the chest. Want to climb out from the roof of the elevator. But carelessly fell to the ground. The husband tried to get up. Take off the wedding ring. Throws it on the floor. Resent his wife. If in this life I didn't meet you, well, I would not be in this pathetic. In the chest. Sounded a broken cry. And automatically opened a gap. The elevator started to fall freely. In the husband's head began to appear beautiful memories with his wife. From the moment they met to the moment they fell in love. Everything was so beautiful. Because the elevator fell too quickly. Losing weight. The blood in the elevator started splashing. The husband was also floating. And the chest containing the body also flew up. The wife's body slowly got out. Mouth open full of blood. But she did not harm her husband. But picked up the ring from the ground. Put it back on his husband's finger. Then hugged her husband. One person, one devil kissed each oth. This is the real death and still love. Sam heard this story. She felt quite thrilled. Dark led her to the front of the crematorium. Preparing to cremate the body of the boy. Sam hurriedly stopped. She told the truth to Dark. Actually, I don't come to apply for a job, but to find this boy. The 3 stories you just told are retribution. But I disagree. This boy's death has proved that. In real life, the bad guy is the winner. Let me tell you a story about him. It turned out, Sam was originally this boy's nanny. One night, the boy's parents are not at home. Sam was alone in the living room watching the movie. After that, she went upstairs to watch the boy. Then began to prepare supper. And didn't forget to play around in the kitchen. At this time, the TV showed urgent news. There was a riot in a mental hospital in the vicinity. There may have been a patient escaping. Remind everyone to lock the door carefully. After putting the food in the oven, Sam immediately went out to take out the trash. But she did not notice that glass panel next to the door was broken. After Sam returned to the living room, she discovered a bloody man. The TV is still playing the emergency message. A serial killer has escaped from a mental hospital. He killed children. Sam rushed to the kitchen to get a knife. The man suddenly appeared behind her. Sam didn't say much either. Directly pulled his hand into the juicer, holding a hammer, smashing on his head. This response is extremely wonderful. But unfortunately women fight. Still had no advantage over men. Sam was knocked down by the man. After beating Sam, he went to the boy's room. Pull out the boy's blanket. Sam also awoke at this time. She picked up the fire stick. Hurried upstairs. The man cannot find the boy. He was screaming. Asked where the boy was. Sam didn't answer. Continued to fight with him. Sam was knocked down again. She struggled to crawl on the ground. The murderer slowly approached. He squeezed Sam's neck tightly. At the moment he assumed he had won. Sam directly pushed him downstairs. The killer collapsed. Sam understands the principle of weeding must be rooted. She picked up the television. Directly hit him in the head. A while later, the host couple returned. Seeing man with his head smashed in the living room. And the news and television was reported. That fugitive murderer is a woman who killed 12 children. Her name is Charlotte. It turns out that Sam was the murderer, and the man is the nanny. In the end, the husband and wife found their son's scorched body in the oven. Dark heard that. He is very suspicious, if Sam was the killer. Why did she come here? Sam said she liked to collect. Each time, she will collect the victim's teeth. She came to get this boy's teeth. After getting the teeth, Sam directly stabbed Dark with a knife. In real life, the bad guy is always the winner. Right when Sam wanted to run away from here, Dark started to laugh wildly. Doesn't seem hurt at all. Oh, nice. The little girl. Congratulations. Now you are an official employee. Sam panicked. She turned to run away, but hit the protective wall. Can't escape from this mansion. She hid into a bookroom. Dark chased behind. He asked Sam, "Do you know how this place is related with you?" Dark knocked on his cane. A few books fell off the bookshelf. These books open automatically. Each pitiful black burnt baby crawled out of the book. They are the victims that Sam previously murdered. Now they come for revenge. In the end, Sam was surrounded by little demons, bitten by them into pieces. The teeth she collected also fell to the ground. The little demo NS picked up their teeth, attached back to the mouth. The scene changes. Dark put Sam's body together. After packing up, he opened the door of the mansion to see the outside world. He took a deep breath. Got out of the house. Sunlight on Dark's face makes him feel the comfort. Dark walked step by step down the steps. After seeing this beautiful world again, Dark closed his eyes, then turned into a pile of ashes. At the same time, Sam also awoke. Look at the patchwork body in the mirror. Sam screamed. In the end, she took over Dark's job to protect stories of deaths here. Until the next successor arrived, she would be released. Sam closed the book. The boy sitting in front of her is the boy delivering newspapers at the beginning of the movie. It turns out that everything happened before are stories that she told the boy. The boy slightly panicked. He wanted to leave this place. Sam stood up. Don't rush. Eat dinner first. The door closed. No one knows the outcome of the boy. The meaning that the 4 stories in the movie is simply, evil people have retribution. These 4 stories all appear one person. It is this doctor. In the first story, his wallet was stolen by the girl. In the second story, he checked Jake's health. In the third story, he gave the medicine to the husband. In the last story, he appeared on television. The director used a very confusing way to link the 4 stories together. The more in-depth presentation on the issue Evil False Evil Retribution. I see someone specially wrote a poem for these 4 stories. I find it very interesting. Borrowing flowers to offer Buddha a little. Female thief nostalgic. Male heron can always be. 9 illnesses sage. General home needs reimbursement. Alright. This is the end. See you in the next movie.